Hello everybody, welcome back to Wisdom. As always, I'm your host, Zero Yeti. Let's go right into it with the first animal of the week being the polar bear, which is a hypercarnivorous bear whose native range lies largely within the Arctic Circle, encompassing the Arctic Ocean, as well as its surrounding seas and land masses. They are the largest bear species on Earth, with males being significantly larger than females. Females reach around 6 to 8 feet in length, around 350 to 650 pounds, while males get up to 10 feet in length and weigh upwards of 1,500 pounds in weight. Compared with its closest relatives, the brown bear, the polar bear has a more elongated body build and a larger skull and nose. The legs are shorter and the ears and tail are smaller as well. Adaptation to retain heat in such a cold environment. The feet are very large, up to 12 inches across, which is also an adaptation for the cold winter environment, as to better distribute its weight when walking on snow or thin ice, and to provide better propulsion when swimming. The pads of the paws are covered in small dermal bumps, which can provide traction on slippery surfaces. The polar bear's claws are shorter and sharper than those of a brown bear, and are better equipped to grip on to heavy prey. They have a thick layer of body fat, which keeps them warm while swimming, and a double layered coat, which insulates them from the cold Arctic air. This coat is so well camouflaged into their environments that these bears can often be mistaken for snowdrifts. Interestingly, the coat has no white pigment. In fact, a polar bear's skin is black. The fur only appears to be white because of the multiple layers of hollow hairs that reflect most visible light. The polar bear is the most carnivorous member of the bear family, with its diet primarily consisting of marine mammals such as walrus, white-beaked dolphins, beluga whales, narwhals, and especially seals. They primarily hunt by ambushing said animals at their breathing holes when they come up for air. Additionally, polar bears are known to consume a wide variety of other wild foods, including muskox, reindeer, sea and ground birds, eggs, rodents, crustaceans, sea urchins, fish, berries, roots, grasses, and kelp. Unlike brown bears, polar bears are not territorial, and while adult polar bears generally live solitary lives, they are known to develop strong friendships with one another, having often been seen sharing food, playing together for hours at a time, and even sleeping in each other's embrace. Courtship and mating take place on the sea ice in April and May when polar bears congregate in the best seal hunting areas. Females typically give birth between November and February in snow dens to litters consisting of around 1 to 4 cubs. Young polar bears typically stay with their mothers until around 2 to 3 years of age. They reach sexual maturity around 4 to 6 years of age, and they may live upwards of 30 years under ideal conditions. Next up is the Darwin's frog, also called the southern Darwin's frog. It is a species of rhinodermatid frog native to Chile and Argentina that was first described by French zoologist André Maury Constant Dormarelli and his assistant Gabriel Bidbron in 1841. It is named after Charles Darwin, who had previously discovered the species during his world voyage on the HMS Beagle. Darwin's frog is a relatively small amphibian, measuring around 1 inch in length, and is easily recognized by its distinctive snout, which is elongated into a fleshy proboscis, giving the head an overall triangular shape. The legs are relatively long and slender, sporting webbed hind feet and non-webbed front feet for better climbing. The upper parts of the species are variably colored in brown or green, and individuals may have a weakly defined V-shaped markings on the back and whitish front limbs. Females are typically brown, while males are often partially or completely green. The throat is brownish, and the remaining underside is black with large white splotches that form a pattern that is unique to each individual. They live throughout bogs, glades, and forest streams at altitudes up to 3,600 feet, typically feeding upon insects and other arthropods. Utilizing the underbrush not only to hunt but to also hide from predators, it relies on its impressive camouflage, lying on the ground looking like a dead leaf until a predator passes by. Another defense method is turning on its back and exposing its boldly patterned ventral surface in an attempt to trick the predator into thinking the frog is poisonous and thus leaving it alone. The female Darwin's frog lays around 40 eggs among the leaf litter, and the male then guards them for about 3 to 4 weeks until the developing embryos begin to move. He then ingests the eggs and holds them in his vocal sac uh, until they develop into tadpoles. And after about 6 weeks, when they fully metamorphosize into froglets and are ready to set off on their own, he then releases them. Under ideal conditions, these amphibians may live up to 15 years. Next up is the Indian giant squirrel, also known as the Malabar giant squirrel, is a species of large diurnal tree squirrel that can be found throughout India. Measuring over 2.5 feet in length and up to 6.5 pounds in weight, it is easily considered one of, if not the largest species of squirrel on Earth. It has a conspicuous 1, 2, or 3-tone color scheme, which varies according to the subspecies locales, all featuring cream-colored underparts and front legs. Those found within the northern and central western Ghats, from around Mumbai to Calcutta, feature a reddish-brown, maroon, or even purple dorsal coat and white-tipped tail. Those found in central and eastern India feature black dorsal coats and white-tipped tails. Those found in southern Gujarat, uh, Gujarat, sorry, Gujarat sport an overall cream coat with brown ears and a white tail, and those in the southern western Ghats sport brown coats with black shoulders and a solid black tail. All subspecies can be found primarily in the upper canopy of jungles and woodlands, feeding primarily upon fruits, flowers, nuts, and tree bark, as well as occasionally on eggs and insects. Indian giant squirrels are themselves preyed upon by leopards, civets, large snakes, and birds of prey, primarily owls. When in danger, they often freeze or flatten themselves onto a tree trunk instead of fleeing. They typically live alone or in pairs, building large globular nests of twigs and leaves along thinner branches where large predators can't typically reach them. These nests become conspicuous in the deciduous forest during the dry season, and an individual may build several nests in a small area of forest and then alternate sleeping between them to confuse predators. Sometimes one larger nest will act as a nursery for young. Females typically give birth to around 2 litters a year, with each litter comprising between 1 and 3 kittens. These young are fully weaned and set off on their own around 6 months of age and reach sexual maturity around 2 to 4 years. And under ideal conditions, these squirrels may live as long as 20 years. Next up is the harpy eagle, also known as the American harpy eagle, the royal hawk, or the Brazilian harpy eagle. It is a neotropical species of eagle that can be found throughout southern Mexico, most of Central America, and northern South America, reaching weights in excess of 20 pounds, body lengths upwards of 3.5 feet, and sporting wingspans surpassing 7 feet. Harpy eagles are amongst the largest eagles in the world, alongside the Steller sea eagle and the Philippine eagle. The upper side of the harpy eagle is covered with slate-black feathers, and the underside is mostly white except for the feathered tarsi, which are striped black. The broad black band across the upper breast separates the gray head from the white belly, and the head is a pale gray, the crowned with a double crest. The iris is typically brown or red, the beak and claws are black, and the legs and toes are yellow. Although nearly identical in coloration and profile, females can easily be distinguished from males by their larger size. They are around typically 35% larger in terms of body mass. Not just female, harpy eagles in general usually inhabit tropical lowland rainforests where they are fierce apex predators known to feed on over 100 different species, including sloths, monkeys, agoutis, macaws, toucans, carousels, black vultures, sarimas, iguanas, tegus, snakes, porcupines, squirrels, opossums, anteaters, armadillos, and even relatively large carnivores such as kikajous, coyotes, raccoons, and tyres. The harpy eagle is itself preyed upon by ocelots and jaguars. Like most raptors, harpy eagles mate for life. Breeding may occur year-round depending on resource availability. They often build their up to 5 foot wide nests in the crown of the cowpoke tree, which is one of the tallest trees on Earth. Female lays around 2 white eggs, which the pair will incubate for around 56 days. After the first chick hatches, the second egg is ignored and normally fails to hatch unless the first egg perishes. The chick fledges at the age of 6 months, but will remain with its parents for up to 2 years. Harpy eagles reach sexual maturity around 4 to 6 years of age and can live up to 35 years under ideal conditions. Next up is the red panda, which is a carnivore native throughout India, Tibet, Myanmar, Nepal, Burma, and China. Here they primarily inhabit temperate forests of the Himalayas at elevations of 7,200 to 15,700 feet. Measuring around 4 feet in length and 13 pounds in weight, they are well known for their rounded heads, upright ears, and long, bushy tail. The fur is long, soft, reddish brown on the upper parts, and blackish on the lower parts, with a lighter face and with tear markings and white badges on the face, similar to those of a raccoon. Each individual red panda sports unique markings. The legs are black and short, with thick fur on the soles of the paws. This fur serves as thermal insulation and conceals the scent glands that they use to mark their territories. They are highly specialized bamboo feeders equipped with strong, curved, and sharp, semi-retractable claws standing inwards and a wrist bone extension that is often referred to as a false thumb. This makes the paws ideal for grasping narrow tree branches, leaves, and fruit. As such, they feed primarily on bamboo, but have also been known to supplement their diet with mushrooms, roots, acorns, lichens, grasses, eggs, insects, fish, birds, small mammals, and the bark and fruits of maple, beech, and mulberry trees. Red pandas themselves are occasionally preyed upon by snow leopards, martens, and birds of prey. Territorial and solitary creature, adult red pandas rarely interact in the wild except for during the mating season, which lasts from around mid-January to well into March. After a gestation period of around 112 days to 158 days, the female will give birth in mid-June to late July to around 1 to 4 cubs. These cubs are typically weaned by 6 to 8 months of age and become fully independent after about a year. A red panda reaches full maturity around 2 to 3 years of age and may live up to 15 years under ideal conditions. Next up is the green anaconda, also known as the giant anaconda, the common water boa, or the sucuri. It is a boa species found in South America. Females are significantly larger than males, average around 15 to 17 feet in length and 150 to 250 pounds, compared to the 9 to 10 feet and 65 to 100 pounds of males. Although exceptionally large females, reaching upwards of 24 feet in length and upwards of 300 pounds in weight, have been known to rarely occur. This makes it the world's heaviest snake species and a contender for the longest species. In all green anacondas, the color pattern consists of olive green background overlaid with black blotches along the length of the body. The head is narrow compared to the body, usually with distinctive orangish yellowish striping on either side. The eyes are set high on the head, allowing the snake to see out of the water while swimming without exposing the rest of its body. They can be found throughout swamps, marshes, and rivers, as well as slow-moving streams throughout Colombia, Venezuela, the Guianas, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, the island of Trinidad, northern Paraguay, and they are especially common within the Amazon and Orinoco river basins. Largely nocturnal and primarily aquatic, they eat a wide variety of prey, consisting of almost anything they can manage to overpower, including fish, amphibians, birds, a variety of mammals up to the size of small tapirs, turtles, caimans, iguanas, and other snakes, including members of their own species. These snakes themselves are occasionally preyed upon by other anacondas, jaguars, ornamental crocodiles, and black caimans. Green anacondas are almost entirely solitary until the mating season, which coincides with the rainy season from April to May. During this time, female snakes lay down a trail of pheromones for males to follow, often resulting in several males converging and mating with a single female simultaneously in a tight coiled formation known as a breeding ball. After a gestation period of between 6 to 7 months, females typically give live birth to between 20 and 40 offspring. Additionally, when no males are present, females are still able to mate and produce offspring produce offspring through a process known as facultative parthenogenesis. However, this asexual reproduction method often results in fewer offspring, with litters produced in this way consisting around 3 to 5 individuals. Under ideal conditions, green anaconda may live upwards of 35 years. And our extinct animal of the week is the dire wolf, also known as the dire dog. It was a large prehistoric canine that lived throughout the Americas during the late Pleistocene and early Holocene epochs. Despite its name and traditional classification, recent genomic studies have shown that it actually wasn't a wolf at all, and was more closely related to striped jackals and African wild dogs than today's modern wolves. Standing around 3 feet high at the shoulder, 5.5 feet in length, and weighing around 150 pounds, they were 25% larger than modern wolves, sporting small feet and an impressively large skull. In life, dire dogs would have roamed across a broad range of habitats, including temperate grasslands and forested mountain areas in North America, as well as the arid savannas of South America, and with fossils having been found as far north as northern California and as far south as Bolivia. Notably, one specimen was recently found in northeastern China, demonstrating that they must have crossed the Bering Land Bridge to Eurasia at some point. Like many modern canines, dire dogs were social animals, most likely living in packs consisting of a senior pair and their offspring from the current and previous years. They were hypercarnivorous mammals, which worked as a unit to hunt and feed upon various megafauna of the Pleistocene Americas, including camels, pronghorns, horses, bison, ground sloths, and even young or infirm mammoths, mastodon, and gomphotheres. It is thought that the extinction of these large herbivores, as well as reproductive isolation and competition from smaller canines such as the gray wolf and the coyote, eventually led to the last dire dogs to die out around 8 to 10,000 years ago. As always, I've been your host, Sirius. Have a goodbye to my guys, gals, non-binary pals. Have a wonderful day.